Welcome to This is Florida. This week, we got an exciting show for you. We're going to give you 5 reasons why you should live in Jacksonville.
The best city in the world. Welcome to This is Florida.
Best city in the world. Welcome to This is Florida. Let's go right in. For those of you who aren't from Jacksonville, you got to know that when we say Jacksonville, what we're really talking about is all of Northeast Florida, as it encompasses Duval County and the surrounding 5 counties.
Yeah, this is the reason you may see somebody down in St. Johns County shouting Duval. This is sort of encompassing of all of Northeast Florida. Duval County is going to be your largest, and where the Jaguars play, so that's going to be where the rallying cry comes from.
That's it.
Anyway, what is the reason? Why is this the best place in the world to live, Nate?
Let's dive right into it. First reason, location. We've got waterfront property, everything from beaches, riverfront lakes. Every neighborhood you live in is also going to have a pond. So a lot of times people want waterfront. They don't necessarily mean navigational to the ocean. They just want a nice waterfront view, a local little community pond or whatever. But if you do want navigational to the ocean, you got the beaches and the river.
And Jacksonville is littered with waterways and canals that have deep water access if you're a boater. Jacksonville, the surrounding areas, is absolutely a boater's paradise. If you don't own a boat, you don't have access to water. There's also tons of those boater rental places. I know like 5 or 6 people, you pay, it ain't cheap, $300-400 a month, and you grab a boat and you can go sit in the river anytime you want.
Instead of paying a payment on your boat and then having to pay maintenance fees on your boat, you just pay one easy payment to join the club. You call the club, you say, I want a pontoon boat today. They got it ready when you get there. You call the club, you say, I want to go deep sea fishing. They got a twin dual outboard ready for you when you get there. It's the way to go by far. Another thing to do with location, we got a couple points here, is ease of access. It's a quick 2-hour trip to Orlando, a few hours up to Savannah, only 5 hours from Atlanta, Georgia, or Miami. So you can kind of view it as a hub. Flying in and out of Jacksonville International is pretty cheap. We've got family in Illinois. My wife's family's from up there. They fly down all the time right to Jacksonville.
Yeah, and I mean, worst case scenario, you're looking at flying through Atlanta, which is right there. It's just a major international hub. Personally,
where in the world from Atlanta?
Yeah, personally, I love driving to Orlando and catching a $100 flight over to the islands. I know you can get to Haiti, the Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, the U.S. Virgin Islands, the Bahamas. Dirt cheap as compared to most parts of the country.
So with that also comes the architecture of Jacksonville. It's an old city. You've got old city of St. Augustine. I know that's down in St. John's. That's kind of what we were talking about. But you can go to St. John's for the weekend. But Jacksonville burned to the ground in 1901. This is an interesting part of the history of Jacksonville. And what that led to was a boom in growth outside of the Midwest. We have the largest collection of prairie homes. Those are Frank Lloyd Wright style, very popular, and also mid-century homes, as well as you were talking about those Sears catalog homes. That all happened here early 1910s and on through the 1950s and 60s, and the city has done a great job of historically preserving a lot of this.
Yeah, and every neighborhood you go into in the older parts of the city, you've got preservation associations. So anybody who lives down in the Riverside area is probably familiar with RAP. If you've driven through, you've seen the RAP signs on people's houses, on people's businesses. And this is, hey, it's twofold. I know a lot of people who live in the Avondale area who've wanted to do things like replace their windows with dual pane glass. RAP ain't going to let that happen if those are historic windows, to maintain the architecture. Frank Lloyd Wright, people come to see it.
Yeah, you can get custom. You do have to get custom, but that's the cool thing. Sometimes you go in a house and they are, in fact, new windows. They're just made to look old. So they have all the efficiency of the new windows, but they still maintain that look that everybody wants. So if you're living in the Midwest and you're like, I'm thinking about coming down to Florida, but I don't want Miami contemporary, that's fine. You come to Jacksonville and you get that old style, some of the same styles you're familiar with up there. But also, if you do want to go contemporary at the beaches or on the river, we got that as well. Number 2 reason.
Oh, wait. Before we move on, I don't think we touched on the beaches. I think we went right to the river, which is a beautiful river, but I think we might have missed that big ocean out there.
So the beaches, you've got Neptune Beach, Atlantic Beach, you've got Jacksonville Beach, you've also got,
we've got
Palm Valley.
Micklers or Micklers, depending on how you want to call it.
Beautiful.
You can have a drink in Jack's Beach. You can search for shark's teeth down south. I mean, I know people who have never been to the ocean by the time they're an adult. Lucky enough that I grew up in Jacksonville, Florida, grew up get my feet in the sand. What a reason. We skipped right over it because I think
Atlantic Ocean.
Hey, we both take advantage of it.
So used to it. We live here.
It's just there. It's just there.
Beaches.
Anyway, sorry to slow you up. Next thing up is entertainment. Take it from there, Nate.
Entertainment.
What do we
We got sports. We have Jacksonville Jaguars, the Jumbo Shrimp, our baseball team. We've got the Sharks Arena football in case you want to sit in the air conditioner and watch football. Iceman hockey. The Giants, they're a minor league basketball team. So if you want to go see a sporting event here in Jacksonville, you can go see any all. The cool thing is Jacksonville is like a big little city. So yes, we've got the Jacksonville Jaguars and they're an NFL team, and our other sports may be minor league teams, but that gives you a real small town feel, vibe when you go to these. So for instance, the Iceman hockey, and there's a sports district that's pretty cool. The Jaguar TIAA Bank Field is there, as well as the baseball field where the Jumbo Shrimp play. And then right across the street is the arena. And the cool thing about that, right in the middle of that are a few different microbreweries and other things that you can attend before you go to the game in walking distance. It's all right there.
Yeah, and this is a really family fun, really affordable section of town. I mean, if you've never been to a Jumbo Shrimp, I've been going since they were the Jacksonville Suns. They'll always be the Jacksonville Suns to me.
Yeah.
But if you've never been to the, I think it's called the Jacksonville Municipal Baseball Grounds.
Yes.
They need a better name.
Well, that's like the classic name, and it's a new stadium that looks like it was built in 1913.
Absolutely beautiful stadium. Absolutely beautiful. I don't care if you hate baseball. Go down, take the kids. I think they have in the outfield, they have a section for kids. I mean, this is an affordable time. They play all summer long.
Faces east, so you go to a ball game, and as the sun's going down, it's behind you, and you're sitting in the shade, outdoor, open air. Beautiful. Right close to there, too, leads us to another point about entertainment is the concerts. So you've got Daly's Place, which is attached to TIA Bank Field. You also have the Florida Theater within walking distance of all these areas. And then a little bit further down the road is the St. Augustine Amphitheater. My wife and me go to several concerts there. You see everybody from the biggest names to the smallest, because we've also got tons of local venues and clubs all in this area. So everything from your local bands to the Rolling Stones playing at the stadium is here in Jacksonville.
Yeah, and Nate mentioned two right down the way from each other in the city of Jacksonville, Daly's Place and the Florida Theater. And these two places couldn't be more different. Daly's Place is state of the art. Shad Khan built it. If you weren't aware, it's attached to the stadium. I mean,
it's
Mac Daddy. Florida Theater is one of those places, if they ever try to tear down, I'll be out there chained to the side of it. It's
old
been in Jacksonville.
Sign with the light bulbs all over it. It's very cool.
If you ever have a chance to go to a concert or a comedy show or anything in there, it's beautiful inside. They've kept it kind of original. I don't know what it maybe since the fire, but absolutely.
Another bit of entertainment is our microbreweries. So according to visitjacksonville.com or actually, I was looking at TripAdvisor. Jacksonville leads Florida for craft brewery scene. Dozens of award-winning breweries. If you go to visitjacksonville.com/the Jacks Ale Trail, I'll put that in the description below. But you can actually go on a guided tour that visits 20-plus local breweries. Man, having one or two would be cool, but 20 plus local breweries in the city.
I was surprised that this was on a lot of the lists.
He didn't know this stat.
I didn't know this stat. I didn't know there were that many breweries. That's awesome. That's another one that maybe I take advantage of.
That's not just like a state stat. That's like a national stat. Like Jacksonville is the place for microbreweries in the nation.
What's your favorite local microbrew? What are you drinking if you're drinking local?
So I like Swamphead Brewery, which is actually over in Gainesville. So again, Northeast Florida. It's a little bit of a hike.
Swamphead's good.
But Swamphead is so good. They've got a beer called Big Nose. When I take a sip of Big Nose and close my eyes, I'm sitting on the front of my grandpa's John boat riding through the swamp. I tell you what, that's the feeling it gives me.
Unless I'm mistaken, the Big Nose, the can has a dude with a ponytail, right?
He's like a tree stump.
He's a tree stump.
In the swamp.
And I'm not saying he looks like you, but I'm saying he's got like the beard and the hair, I think, right?
He's got
a big nose.
It's like a 12% beer. It's strong. When I drink a beer, I want it to be heavy.
All right.
No light beers here.
I'm the other direction lately. So I think it's Bold City, maybe Intuition. I think it's Bold City. They make Duval Light. I've been on Duval Light lately. Okay. I can't say no. I walk into the gas station, they got Duval Light. Get it.
Hey, if you like what you're hearing, then sign up for our email list.
Head on over to nateriggsofficial.com, register, follow along with all the socials so you don't miss a thing.
That's right. It's all there. And while you're at it, go to joshualovely.com, apply for a mortgage so we can help you start buying some real estate and building some wealth today. Number 3, cost of living.
This is a big one. This is how you can afford that Duval Light. We're 8% lower than the state average and about 6% lower than the national average.
Yeah, we were looking at these according to Dreamfinders, NerdWallet. Each one of them has a little bit different percentage rate, but it all averages out to about 6% lower. But get this, 32% lower cost of living when compared to Miami. That's according to Dreamfinder. So you want to come to Florida for the tax breaks. We're going to talk about that in a second. You want that Florida lifestyle of the beaches, but you can't afford that Miami or Tampa lifestyle. You need to come here to Jacksonville because it's 32% lower cost of living. And on top of that, you get to enjoy the microbreweries.
People think Florida. They think Will Smith down on the beaches of Miami.
That's it.
Paying big bucks. No way. We got the same thing up here. Half the price.
Yeah, and also those Florida tax breaks. We're a state that welcomes small business owners. If you are a veteran and you have a disability, you've got different ratings. If you're 100% disabled veteran in the state of Florida, no homestead tax. So not only do you not have state income tax,
you don't pay the DMV. You basically don't pay the state anything for taxes if you're 100% disabled.
Now, some people will complain, there's a bunch of toll roads. It's a if you use it, you pay for it system. So I'm not paying taxes here in Jacksonville for a new freeway that they just built in Orlando. Instead, if I drive through Orlando, I might pay a toll there. I like that system a lot better, Josh, because if I use it, I pay for it. If I don't use it, I'm not paying for it, and nobody's digging in my pocket, taking the money out without me approving of it.
The toll road is another one. It was brought up to me sort of recently. I drive around. I'm all over town, from the beaches to Fleming Island. I go all over, and I don't have the SunPass thing. I don't pay tolls. Like I don't hit those roads, so I don't pay for it.
Yeah.
That simple. Anyway,
I hit them and I pay it.
They have the option. Are you taking the speed option? You know they have that left lane.
Oh yeah, I take it every time.
I'm scared. I feel like that's a trap. I feel
Not
like they're going to pull me over if I go in there. I don't know. All right, on to the next one. We're talking about schools, Nate.
Number 4.
Schools.
All right.
We're making smart Floridians down here.
St. Johns County is home to the number 1 school district in the state of Florida. There's 2,100 school districts in the state of Florida. 2,100 school districts. We're home to number 1. Also, if you go over to Clay County, it's like number 7. I mean, might as well be number 1 when you're comparing it to 2,100 other schools. So,
and in Duval's a massive district, but you do have cherry-picked schools in there that people are moving their homes, they're uprooting their families to move to places like San Marco to go to the schools over there, which are fantastic elementary schools.
And pretty good lottery system. So if like my child actually doesn't go to the school that's right next to our house, she goes to another school just for logistical reasons. It's kind of on our way to and fro. And it's a great school, one of the best schools in our area. An article I read in Lux Lifestyle magazine also said surprisingly diverse. Now, this confuses me. I don't know why that's surprising. Maybe because it goes against the narrative that you can't be a great school and be diverse. But guess what? In the state of Florida, I don't even think about it. I guess my whole life, there's all different races, all different walks of life. All different. Our demographic here is so diverse, and yet we still have a number 1 school district, which really speaks to our ability to just interact with each other as brothers, as family, our whole communities.
Yeah, this isn't something that me growing up ever really even occurred to me. I went to a massive school in Duval County, and there was all kinds of people from all kinds of places. It just was what it was.
That's normal for us, and us Florida people, Florida man. We look out for each other.
Hey, Florida man's looking out. So the last thing on our list, and this is the first in my heart.
Give us the number.
The number 5, the future of Jacksonville. It's a bold, growing city on the river. And this is something I believe in strongly. I know Nate believes in strongly. Yeah. We've interviewed a couple of local business owners on the show. And, I said to Nate before we started recording, like, how do you say equity in a city? Like, how do we put that?
Yeah.
And that's how I feel. I feel like if you invest in this city, whether that's moving your family here, getting a job here, starting a business here, you're going to grow with this city. And I really believe that. I think it's fantastic. And this is the best city in the world. That's my number 1, number 5 on our list.
Yeah. These are kind of not in order. We just kind of led up to them, but definitely the future of Jacksonville. When you think about it, when you look at those stats, we just said cost of living, it's 32% cheaper to own property in Jacksonville than it is in Miami or Tampa. With the influx of people moving from the Midwest, the Northeast, and the West, coming here for those tax benefits, coming here for that number one school, coming here for the entertainment, the sports, it won't last that way forever. The prices will catch up to Tampa and Miami eventually. So if you're getting in now, if you're moving to Jacksonville in 2022, you're paying 9% less than the state average. You may be paying up to 30% less than places like Orlando, Miami, and Tampa. And in 5-10 years, the equity you built up in your property as those property prices continue to increase, I mean, you'll be thanking us.
And think of all the places in the world where you can be 30 minutes from the beach, oceanfront or waterfront. I'm sorry, 30 minutes from the beach on the river for $1 million. Nowhere. I mean, that's a $20 million home in most cities.
Yeah.
Jacksonville, Florida, we have tons of them. I mean, hey, this is higher end. Don't get me wrong. That's a dream. I want to be on the river.
Yeah.
But that's something you can shoot for here in the city. And those people who own those homes now, I mean, $1 million.
We toured a property recently on like 2 acres of land with a huge dock, a 2-story house, and it was the asking price was $750,000.
Crazy.
It's a little dated. Might have to do a few updates, but you sell your $5 million apartment in New York, you come on down here, you're paying cash for that $750 plus the reno to live on the water and have 2 acres. Are you kidding me?
I mean, it's ridiculous.
Cannot beat it.
Yeah, and let's just say it doesn't matter what the house was in decent shape, but it doesn't matter. The house could have been fallen down. $700,000. I think it was on Doctor's Lake. Absolutely beautiful property.
Beautiful.
We were both there trying to.
I almost bought it.
Yeah, we were throwing our nickels together, seeing if we could have a camp house.
If you thought this was helpful at all, subscribe, hit the like button, and leave us a comment. Let us know you were here, and let us know the things you'd want to know.
Thank you so much for listening. We really appreciate you watching us grow as a podcast. We appreciate you tuning in. See you next time.
We'll see you on This is Florida.